Hi there, this is my review of the new Canon EF-M 32mm f1.4. Lately, all Canon talk has been about the new Canon EOS R, which is understandable. But at the same time they launched the new R system, they also launched this little piece of glass for the EOS M system. This is the new Canon EF-M 32mm f1.4. This lens belongs to Canon Finland, and I was not asked to do this review, nor am I getting paid for this. So, this is the new EF-M 32mm f1.4. In full frame terms, it's roughly a 50mm lens with a fast f1.4 aperture. The optical construction is 14 elements in 8 groups. So it's not just another reincarnation of the double Gauss 6-element double Gauss design. This is a modern lens design for a modern camera. The build quality is very good, I would say excellent. The outer case is plastic, but this lens doesn't feel cheap at all. There's a metal bayonet, and all in all, it feels like a solid, good quality product. There are not many mechanical moving parts. The focus ring, which feels nice and smooth, no free play, and then there's a switch for limiting the focus from 50 centimeters to infinity. It's a little bit bigger than the kit lens and a little bit heavier too. Without caps, this weighs about 230 grams. The closest focusing distance is very handy, 23 centimeters, and that is measured from the sensor, of course, and from the front lens it's only just over 10 centimeters, the close focus distance. While it's not really a macro, it's very handy if you occasionally want to photograph some relatively small subjects. The autofocus is fast, silent, and reliable. There is absolutely no back and forth movement. It just goes from point A to B without any hesitation. The optical performance of this lens is excellent. It's very sharp, wide open. It's a little bit softer towards the corners, but still I wouldn't hesitate using this wide open anytime if I needed to. When you stop down a little bit, then it's tack sharp from corner to corner. There is also a tiny bit of barrel type of distortion, which is of course a sign of some kind of optical compromise, but it's very slight distortion and you wouldn't normally see it in every picture. Only if you would do some very critical architectural shots you may be able to see it, and it's very easy to correct in post, and I'm sure Lightroom will include a lens profile for this lens probably in the next update, so it's just a click of a mouse and the distortion disappears. There's some vignetting wide open. I'm not very sensitive to vignetting and it doesn't bother me at all, but there is some vignetting wide open and it disappears when you stop down a little bit. The autofocus areas, the bokeh, is very pleasant, soft and smooth. There's no bokeh fringing or anything like that. Very nice looking. And this, as a matter of fact, this is one of the few lenses, if not the only lens in the EF-M lineup that you can really use to create a nice pleasant bokeh. This is a very nice addition to the EOS M system. The only thing that I'm a bit concerned about, this is not a very cheap lens. It's here in Europe it runs for about 600 euros or just under 600 euros, which is not unreasonable amount of money for a quality lens like this. But I'm a bit worried that how many EOS M users are willing to shell out about 600 euros for a standard lens, no matter how good the lens is. And another thing, the lens shade is not included, which is a mistake, I think. For that kind of money, you should be able to get the lens shade with the lens. I really fell in love with this lens, even though 50mm equivalent is not my favorite lens. My favorite is roughly 35 equivalent, but still the optical performance of this lens is so nice that I really like it. I hope you liked my review of this new Canon EF-M 32mm f1.4, and I'll see you next time.